Viewer discretion is advised. Your fave will be criticized.
That's Chris.
That's Shan.
And we are CCTV, the nonstop pop show.
And we are doing a round of Is It Boppin for the biggest K-pop releases of January 2023.
If you're looking for awesome global pop music podcasts, look no further because Chris and I have the inside scoop with extensive experience performing on stage and working at record labels. We review and deep dive into your favorite artists' songs and careers, and also interview music industry professionals, including artists, producers, choreographers, and everything in between. So if you'd like to join us in these conversations, you can actually join us on Patreon at patreon.com/cctvpops and become part of our amazing crew that helps us decide episode topics. And it includes Lisette, Lily, Emily, Kevin, Deshawn, and Juliet. So subscribe now and let us explore the world of pop music together.
Yes. And you can also follow us on all socials at CCTV Pops because we put up a lot of polls and also just fun content that you can find. But thank you to everyone who did vote on the polls on Patreon and across those socials because your input helped us decide on which songs to feature today. So if you want to join in on that, make sure to subscribe and also leave a comment with your picks for next month as well.
Welcome to Is It Boppin? Here we discuss the songs and discuss the production, lyrics, and videos, and everything in between. So let's find out. Do we have bops or flops?
First up, we have NewJeans with OMG, and this was done by Jinsu Park, Gigi, Yiva Dimberg, Dawood, and Hani of NewJeans.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Look at that.
Yes. So last month we talked about Ditto, which was the pre-release for OMG. So I'm going to be honest, I actually think I like Ditto more than OMG. But OMG's great too, because let's be real, like the power of NewJeans has been amazing to watch. It's charting on the Billboard Hot 100. It's all over TikTok. And honestly, I've had so many people in my life that are not K-pop fans tell me that they like NewJeans. It's starting to permeate
spill over
into pop culture. I love it. It's great. And they're only 6 songs in. This is crazy. Yeah.
It is. I agree with you. I think it's one of those things where it doesn't sound like a K-pop track in a sense. Like, I mean, if you grew up listening to 2000s music, and if you're like our age or close to our age, I think people actually really appreciate how sonically it feels like familiar, but how fresh it is because of like, you know, the current sounds and whatnot, like the future bass, but also like the UK garage.
Garage, yes.
So you have like the contemporary soundscape and the older one mixing together. And it's crazy. Again, I said it last time, to see these girls dressing and singing and doing music that I wasn't even old enough to really appreciate at the time. It's crazy. Like I was still a kid. Like I wasn't even their age when that music was really popping. So like I'm like kind of going back retroactively myself. But yeah, you were saying that you like OMG not as much as Ditto, but it's still pretty good. Like what about it?
It's still great. It's still great. Well, first off, going back just to the other thing we were talking about, the fact also that the first line's fully in English of the chorus, I think that helps too. So it's just kind of smart writing with smart business decisions, which we love on this show.
Totally.
But yeah, I think going in line with what you were saying, there's just something so effortlessly cool about this song and all their songs so far. And that's really hard to do when you have such young teenagers. And this song, the lyrics are very cute. It's just a cute love song. But they've managed to keep it very cool.
Yes.
And so me, as a 30-something-year-old, can still fully enjoy it and not feel like I'm listening to something that doesn't belong to my age group or life stage, you know? So I think that's really, really cool. You mentioned, the garage influence, which is something we've always loved. So it's really cool to kind of just see it come back. But the way it's done production-wise, the staccato percussion, the staccato elements, the piano and the synths kind of that all come out. And just the really simple chords. Dun, dun, like it's so simple in one way, but also very complicated in the way they all kind of go together. So it's just really exciting. And then melodically, it all feels very natural. It's such a simple melody. None of the girls are pushing too hard to sing. It all feels very relaxed and open. And the melody is just fun to sing. So there's that. And then just structurally as a song, every single part has a hook. It's catchy. Of course, the oh my, like, of course, that's like the most exciting part. But even the baby and like all those like little things, like I look forward to every single part of the song. It just never disappoints you. So it's just, I'm fanboying a lot, but yes, what do you think?
No, it's totally fine. I agree with you. The vocals aren't, like, especially difficult, but it has a strong top line. It's literally in my notes, what you just said. That's what's really important, and if you notice, there's no rap in this,
Mm,
right? It's like they haven't really had rapping. They may have had, like, some type of staccato singing or, like, talk singing very a la Beyoncé back in 2000s, but nothing like, "Oh, yeah, and yeah,
yeah.
OMG," but they don't have to do that because the song delivers on its coolness based on the tone and such. But yeah, I love how childish the lyrics are comparatively to that purposeful accident cookie that happened a while back. You know what I'm saying? So it's really interesting because you have all these songwriters creating an image and concept for this group years in advance, right? Like, let's not pretend that everything
Mhm,
gets made super fresh. Not all the time is it made like just yesterday.
mhm,
So again, I like that this is really expressing young love, and I love that, like, we all have had that crush where our friends go, "Who is he?" You know, like, "Who is that guy?" And that right there makes you feel even more connected to the song. Even if you don't know what the heck they're saying, they keep asking, "Who is he?" Like, we all
mhm,
get that, "Who's the guy? Who is he? Who is he? Who is he?" Or, "Who is she? Who are they?" And I think it's interesting to hear them sonically, like, vocally speaking, because right now they're playing it safe. I was watching some of the recording. They actually can hold a note, aside from, like, some, like, video editing, audio editing, like, put that aside. I think they can actually sing, and it should be interesting to see where they go vocally. I think Haein is the youngest member at, like, 16, no, 15 next month in April.
wow.
No, I don't expect crazy adult lyrics as they get older production-wise or, like, vocally, I mean, lyrically, excuse me, but I'm excited to see where they're gonna be sonically 2 years from now, because 'cause they'll be, like, late teens, early college age, so it's like, what's gonna happen sonically? Will you maintain the sound but also elevate it so it's not we're getting the same one note, you know? So,
Mhm,
excited for sure, for
mhm.
sure.
Yes. Going to the visual,
Mhm.
there were some controversies with this video,
I
which of course, again, right? I feel like they've
Yeah.
had that quite a lot now, and I think on purpose as well, because they
Mhm.
want it to be a speaking point, a talking point,
Yes.
a water cooler moment, if you will. And in this case, people felt that they were maybe making light or making fun of mental health
Yes.
institution or mental
Yeah,
health issues.
yeah.
Um, so that's interesting. I don't fully agree with that, but
Yeah.
people are very sensitive, which I understand. So
Yeah,
just for
yeah,
me, I was not particularly offended by that.
yeah.
But just looking at it at face value before we dive into all the theories and stuff, just
Mhm.
visually, there are some really cool moments. I love the princess references again without being too cheesy or too
Yeah,
young.
yeah.
There was still something kind of weird about it and kind of
Mhm.
creepy about it. Yeah, it
Yes.
was very interesting. I
Mhm.
love them all. I love the interaction between all five of them. I think with a lot of K-pop groups, sometimes the chemistry
Mm.
between the members isn't always clear because everyone's just kind of waiting for their own moments. But
Ooh,
in this
yeah,
case, you
yeah,
get a
yeah,
lot
yeah.
of, and it's choreographed in there as well,
Mhm.
where they look at each other, or even
Yeah.
in this video, like they're on the table, the circular table, staring at each other
Mhm.
awkwardly, and things like that. Like that was all really great. I love the sudden flashes to the scenes from the Ditto music video. Just those little
Yeah.
connections are always really fun. But yes, I've seen some theories, of course. But what do you think this video is about?
Time for the tin hat. I need to get a tin hat at this point.
You do.
If you are new to the show, if you're new to Is It Boppin' or anything in general CCTV, just know that I will watch a video 100 times over just to see anything special and new and funky. So stay tuned because I got a lot more theories. I mean, at this point, it's been a month since the video has been released, so a lot of theories had already come out.
Yeah.
I remember watching it, and I don't know if I mentioned to you that I liked the cell phone Siri moment. But when I saw that, I thought it was interesting because there's a dialogue in the beginning that I'll get to in a second. But overall, the video is like a commentary on the harsh but true fact that K-pop idols, shoot, any artist, including myself, are a little crazy, but not in the sense where it's like clinically that way, or at least not really until they get driven by expectations placed on them. I mean, I don't think people realize when you have so much pressure put on you as, like, an artist or even as someone who is expected to do well, you kinda tend to go a little crazy trying to live up to that expectation, or you embody a character and become somewhat of a people pleaser, but in, like, the artist's case or the idol's case, uh, like, they're everything. Very much going back to the Ditto video where, was it Ban Hee-soo? Ban
Hmm.
Hee-soo, Lord, the name. So Ban Hee-soo, she was obsessed essentially with NewJeans and was expecting them to be there for her, but they weren't, like, actually real. So in this one, the girls are real in a sense, but embody different things to different people. Like, Minji's a therapist who's meant to be a healer for your mental health. Haeyeon's the cat. But hey, no, Haeyeon's the MC, like the main character. So she's a princess. That's the main character of almost every single movie. She's the princess. She's the damsel. She's the character that's supposed to be perfect in order to be likable. Haeyeon's the cat, a pet meant to be obedient and provide companionship. Like all of these things, even Hani is Siri. They're tools meant to entertain and serve you. And that's how people look at a lot of idols. Like, I don't want my idol talking about politics. I don't want my person, what I'm saying? You see so many idols, even like, especially K-pop idols, saying, I was driven crazy to look like this, to do this, because if I fall in love, if I do anything that's like outside of the norm of making music and being like your perfect girlfriend or boyfriend, I essentially get canceled. And that can drive anyone crazy. So I like that. And I think I like that Danielle's the only person that's kind of aware of like the matrix that they're in. She's like, hey, we're NewJeans. Hello, it's all fake. But everyone else has accepted that it's not real. Like they're like, hey, this is how life is. And that's how a lot of idols get, They get kind of jaded. It's just like, this is how it is. We can talk about it, but is it going to change? And then I think at the end with the doctor from the beginning being the patient, seeing NewJeans as like ghosts, as construction men, as thieves, that's how fans see their idols. Like every single person has a POV on how they want their idols to be. Like either you're the boyfriend or the girlfriend or my lifesaver or blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that's not true. No, I'm meant to make music for you. If you like it, cool. But I'm not here to save you from your own loneliness and depression. So I think it's interesting in that sense. And also the whole like insane asylum thing. I mean, the fashion, not even trying to be funny, but the fashion of that, no one really wears gowns as much. That's a very old school kind of way. So I don't think they were making fun as much as they were making a commentary to kind of it's like an artistic thing. If it was a movie that won an Oscar, people wouldn't say you're glorifying. So I think because the girls are dancing, it doesn't help.
Yeah. I also have to shout out the very end when you have the netizen, right? The one without the face, which you can't see her face, typing, "Oh, this video is, I forget what the exact line is, but it's like, am I the only one that just wishes they were like singing and dancing? I loved that. It just shows like no one is ever satisfied. The fandom is never satisfied. So yeah, very interesting for sure. Their videos are so cool. They're really setting the bar high though, because if they ever do like a regular normal video, everyone's gonna be like, meh.
Gosh. Yep, they did it to themselves. But again, it pushes the boundaries. I mean, pushes their company's like limits. Like how far can we go with our creativity? So again, it only benefits the group for sure.
Sure, exactly. Getting to the choreo. So I did actually learn the first part of OMG properly. Shout out to I Love Dance on the East Coast. If you guys are there, you should go check out their dance classes. They're great. So fun. This choreo is very interesting because, as I think we've been saying with the past few songs as well, their choreo is so great because it's not too crazy. It's not too girly.
No.
Right? It's very kind of hip hop 101, simple grooves. And I mean that in a good way. Not that it's like basic. I mean, it's basic in a good way. Like, it's fun. It's just fun and simple. But because it's simple and fun, it requires good execution, right? Because learning the choreo, because it's sometimes a little slower or because it's sometimes it's just like, you're literally just moving your leg like this. You're moving your leg like this. But then if you don't know how to actually move it to make it look good, then you actually will not look good doing it. So it actually is tough to execute this dance well. So while it looks easier than a lot of what other K-pop groups are doing, technically, it actually is tough to make it look good. So yes. I will say I love the OMG, the point dance.
That's cute.
The walk to each side and then the little like wheel butt thing. It's so fun. I've seen so many non-dancers attempting to learn it. It's really, really great to see. And reminds me of back in the day, right? Like with the second gen groups, like everyone can try and attempt like Ring Ding Dong.
Yeah.
For example, that's what you want. You want these like, or sorry, like that's
the rubbing.
Like that's what's fun, like that it's accessible. It's not like some of these crazy choreo moments that other groups are doing. So that's been great. So yeah, what do you think of the choreo?
I agree with you. I'll hit some points really quickly. Like back in the day, you and I were talking about like I think even dance breaks. Like there was a part of the dance where you have to throw your best crap in the bridge section because it's a dance break. They kind of have a section there right before their little hopping and line dancing that they do. Like it's super cute, and I appreciate that because everything else is so simple. When you get to that part that requires a lot more, like a little bit more technical skill, some little shimmy, a little bit of popping, nothing crazy popping, like
Yeah.
hard. But when you require more skill, it's more appreciated. So yeah, as easy as it is, it follows a structure that makes sense. It's not just for spectacle. So if they're gonna start the whole, I don't know, this is not 5th gen, but if they wanna be they wanna set a precedent for whatever 5th gen group coming out, make things easier, please do. Please
Oh,
do.
yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
my note.
I will say the little part in the middle where they are
Mhm.
just kind of, I think it's during the fave part where they're like all like playing
Yeah.
around a little bit and just kind of looking at
Yes.
each other and stuff. I
Yeah.
wish it wasn't as choreographed as it is. Like, I
Mhm.
wish that whole part was a little more freestyle. It's supposed to look
Yeah.
like freestyle, but clearly it's not. They do the same thing in every performance. So that's the only
Yeah.
thing I wish, where it feels a little forced. Like, we're having fun now. You're going to look
I'm
at me
crying.
here. And you're going to, you know what I mean? As opposed to them doing something different or something kind of
They
just
should.
free every
Yeah.
time. I think that would
Yeah.
be good.
Yeah.
Um, and I have watched a lot of the performances, and they actually have been singing live a lot of the
Yes.
time, which is
Yes.
good. Obviously, the backing track is very high, and you can hear a lot
Mhm.
of shakiness just because the choreo is a lot of like jumping, and then like it's
Yes.
impossible to sing, live
Yeah.
properly with that. But I appreciate that they're at least doing it.
Yeah, I mean, the song is not
Yeah. Well, I
difficult.
don't think they were singing live a lot with the first round, like
Oh,
with
yeah,
the first
true,
two piece.
true.
So I think it's good. I think you just need the experience so you can actually get better. Yeah.
Totally, totally. So, what would you rate this song?
Okay, I will give it a 9. How about you?
I'm gonna give this one an 8.5. Not because
Mm.
it's bad, not because of but because we like the pre-release a little bit more than the actual release. It's kinda, again, the bar is just kinda high. It's not terrible. It's
Oh,
just
the bar is so
that's what
high.
I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Just to,
That's
as
a
a note, when we do these ratings, we're doing it based on that artist's
catalog, like the
discography
whole
and
thing.
catalog. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, Hype Boy is a 10. So I'm kind of ranking
Yeah.
everything along with that. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Up next, we have Puzzle by SF9. And this is done by Han Sung-ho, Benjamin, Sebastian That, and Soo-yoon, and Hui-young, and Suho of SF9.
Mhm.
Oh, yes, honey. Let's get into it because last time we spoke to SF9, it was during the summertime, and we weren't really feeling their summer comeback. I mean, I listened to it earlier today, and I was like, "Oh, the song's not terrible. It's just not them. Like, they could have done
It's
summer."
not good. Sorry. I skip it if it comes on.
Mhm, yeah, he says that. He has
And
consistently said
honestly,
that.
let's be real, guys. I'm sorry. I was looking at some of the numbers.
But
It has
not
very poor streaming numbers,
yeah,
so no
it's
one was
not
really here for
them.
that one. Yeah.
It's not them.
But
Yeah,
they're back
yeah.
properly because this song is great.
Yes,
This
okay.
song is great. Definitely a bop for
Yes.
me. I think,
Yes.
at the end of the day, them doing the slick, sexy thing, it just
Mm,
works for them. It
mm,
just makes sense
mm.
vocally. It makes sense visually. Like,
Yes.
it's just,
Oof.
it's where their bag is. So, like,
Ye
I get that obviously you need some
yeah.
diversity in your back catalog,
Mhm.
but yeah,
Mhm.
this is
Yeah.
clearly kind of just where their strength is.
Yeah.
Production wise, there's
Mm,
some really great like wiry synths all
mhm.
throughout it, and their percussion is very, very fun. There's like these thin, it's very thin, like these
Yeah.
thin snaps and clicks that drive it really well. There are
Mhm.
some really nice background vocals in there too. A lot of nice oohs, especially like in the pre-chorus and the bridge. And yeah, the whole build is in structure. It's very classic pop structure,
Mhm, yeah.
verse, chorus, bridge. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it works really well here. And
Mhm.
every part kind of is important and it doesn't feel like it feels like
Right.
everything was well thought out for sure. Um, in the chorus, there are some really nice subtle harmonies.
Oh,
And we've
yeah.
complained in the past that K-pop needs more unison choruses because if they actually sang some of those parts together, it
Mhm.
would sound so good and full because there is actually a nice range of vocal tones in SF9.
Oh,
You've
yeah.
got like Hui Young and Zuho are the lower ones, and you can hear them singing kind of the hook in the
Yeah.
lower octave.
Yeah.
And then then you have the thinner voices as well on top of
Mhm.
that.
Like
And then
that
you have
one.
the
Yeah.
balance, and like Dawon, and then you have
Mhm.
Rowoon, who's kind of right in the middle with kind of a
Yes.
huskier kind of tone, right? And so if they actually sang together, I think the blend would actually be so nice, but obviously we
Yeah.
don't really get that, and that's just more of a
Yeah.
K-poppy thing than really
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
But disregarding that, I think the overall vocal distribution is actually really great. You do
Mhm.
hear different vocal tones from the various members, and it plays to all their strengths really, really, really well. You have the rappers actually singing some of the hooks, which is
Ooh.
awesome.
Yes.
Jae Yoon's falsetto is also
Oh,
beautiful.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
up there with Minhyun from New East. I always mention him as like my ideal vocal. So imagine like
Mhm.
the two of them
Oh,
singing together
yeah.
would be like so angelic. But
Yes.
yeah, I really enjoy this song, and the lyrics are interesting. Like, what did this person do to them?
Oh my god, yes! Okay, listen. If you're new here, welcome. Also, if you made it this far, subscribe and give us a like. Fantasy, where y'all at? Listen, the boys do wounded all the time. And I've always said I don't like the wounded thing too much because it's like, I get it, but you're so like, you too fine to be this upset, baby. Like that's what I feel like. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like this, but this is wounded, but they didn't do it too much, right? This one is more just like accusatory. And I think with this song, the lyrics are really great, right? So whatever the English lyrics were, they just kind of translated them at this point. Like, I'm thinking of all the pieces, like with all the pieces, the meticulous alibi and the unspeakable action mentioned in the chorus. The boys done caught shawty stumbling on somebody's door. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I think the boys done caught the girl cheating. And I think the puzzle analogy is very simple and very clear. I mean,
Yes.
when you're in any situation that's causing you to feel suspicious, you start noticing body language, the tone changes, everything they mentioned in the song, and we all sleuth until we get the pieces together. Bam, there's your puzzle. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
oh God, it's making sense now. I mean, Sebastian Thought is listed as like a lyricist when the broadcast comes on.
Yeah.
And he does boy groups so well. Like, I mean, he did Shiny's Body Rhythm from the last album.
Ooh,
But I should also mention that he also did ITZY's Sneakers and Boys Like You. So again, boy
oh,
group does boy
interesting.
group well. And going back to what I was saying about NewJeans, I like that the song is vocal focused. Like I get it, hip hop is the new fun thing, it's the hip thing. But like a solid top line and good vocals are welcome because then we get what you mentioned, like rappers singing in these low tones. Oh my god! But I also do wonder what we would have gotten with like in song singing some of the parts.
Oh yeah.
Oh, because he adds a little bit more of that R&B kind of sound too. Like he's very ballady. He's like their own, like the ballad kind of. But it sounds R&B-ish. He could have done some of those parts. Rowan held it down. The guys held it down. But yeah, again, like I said, Wounded Men, I'm like, please stop. But this worked. And they only did it a little bit in the bridge. Like, I don't need you to tell me you're gonna change. And like, I like
Hmm.
that part. But again, they were stern with the cheater, and I like that.
Yes, I like how the vocal was kind of like
Yeah.
emotionless
Yeah.
almost. Like it was kind of
Very
like
cold.
we figured this. Yeah, it's very cold. Yes,
Mm,
that's a
mm,
good
mm, mm,
word. So
mm.
it worked. And it works visually as well. Cause I
Oh
think we've
yeah.
mentioned in other videos that they're not the most expressive as a group
Oh, God, no.
visually. They're not really great at the facials. They're like models. They're like
Stoic.
stoic.
Yeah.
Other than maybe Taeyang. Taeyang likes to give a good smile.
Yes, he
And
does.
Dawon's also quite expressive at
Expressive.
times. But as a whole, they
Yeah.
do like to do the stoic statuesque
Hmm.
thing, so that
Yeah.
works with this whole concept. With the music video, sorry to give another New East reference, but I did remind me of I'm in Trouble for the first half of it,
Oh,
like the office
interesting.
kind of situation.
Oh yeah.
Although the fact that they were in suits, then I was like, oh, are they like building security? That's what I got. Cause I think Rowan's like in a room with like screens or radios or something. And I was like, oh,
I'm
are they
in
like,
here.
anyway, that was the first thing I thought the first time I watched it. But obviously it makes sense now. I'm like, oh, they're spies, obviously. But anyway, that was the first impression that I got. I will say that the latter half of the video
Yeah.
was probably more interesting for me. I
Oh,
loved the
yeah.
kind of like film noir kind of
Mhm.
look with the,
Mm.
like the big empty black space,
Yeah.
and different points of light, and then you have the
Yeah.
car and the phone booth and that kind of thing. I think that
Mhm.
was way more visually
Mhm.
interesting than like the office building. I think that's
Yeah.
just like overdone, and,
Yeah.
and yeah, they didn't like do anything really new with that.
Right.
So yeah, what did you think of the video?
You know, the espionage concept makes sense with all the conspiracy theorists speaking in the
Yeah,
song for sure. You know, it building security.
that's what they look like. Watch it back with the
Listen,
suits.
I'm not gonna say no. That is hilarious though. That is so fun. I can imagine. Could you imagine like in a museum? But yeah, no. I like the whole espionage thing. The whole private investigator thing works for this concept. Like totally.
Yes.
I mean, I think whoever they were looking for, this other man or this other person had a very juicy, strong vein in his arm. What the hell? What the hell that was about? Like that was that man's like tell tell who the other man was. He had like this strong vein, that looked like the Mississippi River on his wrist. I don't get that part, but I like that they went from like kind of doing like the Scandal, like Scandal, the
Yeah,
TV
of
show.
course.
That's what with the whole pictures on the wall and the strings connecting, and we gotta find this guy. And they actually went to go look for him. And yeah, honestly, I would love to have one or even seven of them follow me around if I were getting investigated.
Oh,
Boy.
except, oh, yeah.
Wait, hang on. Wait. No, but then I don't want to be a cheater either. But like,
Yeah, I was
this
about to say, like, the reason they're trying to find you isn't great.
no, it's not. And if you guys want to find me for other like less than nefarious reasons, I'm right here and single, and it's Valentine's month, so I'm excited for that. But yes, going into like the performance and whatnot, I love the dancing in the video. The some of the shots were like when they did the troubling, stubbling, and the snatching toward the body. The camera
Yeah.
like zoomed in, and it really emphasized that move. Just choreography like is very challenging. I was watching it, and I was like, oh, I want to try to. Oh, I'm not gonna touch this. This is a lot.
Yep. Same.
Yo, cause like at first I was like, I like the song. Let me see what this move is about. Boy, the footwork, the kickball change, and then the stopping. And I'm like, okay, listen, here's the thing. It's okay to stop for 2 seconds. And it's so funny, like in the chorus, after like the whole kickball change of the stumbling part, they go, you're in trouble. Where that one comes in the front, they just walk. That's the only time these guys ever stop moving. And I was
Yeah.
crying. Like, there's no, you're in trouble. No finger wag. It's just, you're in trouble. They were done. But yeah, they looked good in the video, and in the performances.
Yeah.
Young Bin would have killed this choreography. Like he's another one of their
yeah.
dancers. Man, army life. Oh, the choreography
Yeah.
is tough. Like it's sharp.
It's tough. The
It's-
footwork is
yeah.
crazy. And the arms are fast
Yeah.
too. Yeah, it's great. The chorus for sure is insane. I
Yeah.
will say, I
Mm.
wish that little butt bop thing that they do.
Oh my God, yes.
I
give
wish
it
it
to
was.
me.
I wish it was a little harder. Because I get that they're
Yes.
supposed to like look very like manly and slick or whatever, but you could tell Taeyang was holding back
Yeah,
so
he's-
much. He wants to hit back so hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they just hit back a little bit, I think it
Harder.
actually would have made a little more effective.
Mhm.
But I
Use
get
your
what they were
back.
going
You
for.
can use your back.
Yeah,
You gotta
use your back a little
back,
bit.
not your
Yeah,
booty. Yeah.
Exactly. I did find it interesting from watching all the fan cam choreography videos
Yeah.
and stuff that Rowan steps away for the pre-chorus.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that's when all the floor work kind of happened. So I know he had struggles with his back. So I wasn't sure if maybe that was, something with injuries or, he's been busy. So maybe he didn't have time to learn that choreo. I don't know.
I'm crying.
But like he only performed with them for the first week and then he kind of went to fashion shows or something in Europe.
That's right, looking
So
delicious.
I did watch both versions as well.
Yeah.
But it's always interesting because with these types of situations where you have the one member that tends to miss a lot of things, like I used to observe it with like Lay and EXO,
Yeah.
right?
Oh my God,
But it's
yeah.
interesting because like choreography wise, they don't try and like put him in the back corner or anything a
Nope.
lot. Like they do give him moments where other
Yep.
people do have to change a lot of things to take their place. So I find that interesting because as a dancer, because you were in dance crews as well. Like
Yeah.
if we would kind of choreograph in ways if we knew some people would miss certain shows, like you're in the back. Or like you're on the side and you're not playing
Yeah.
anything like important
them,
in terms
no.
of the pictures and stuff. But yeah, they don't really do that with this, so it's interesting.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You know, it's so true. But honestly, what we got from him, I'm happy because
Oh, yeah.
baby still got it. I mean, they all really have it. I just want to give a nice little shout out to the M Countdown performance with Jaeyoon looked delicious. I know we're talking about the music, but the visuals play a part as well. The blonde hair and that muscle shirt, yum. Oh my gosh. And then Cherry Young, and it's really shocking. That red hair was like, because he usually does like
Yeah.
neutrals, like a medium cut, brown hair, black hair. Like it's never been like super red. But yeah, everyone looked really good in this comeback, and he sounded good too, which is why, all in all, I'm gonna give this one a 9. I feel like it slots right in next to like a lot of their older songs, and just sounds like a nice progression as like men as well.
Agreed.
Yeah. What about you?
Agreed on every way. It is a 9 for me. Next up, we have Beautiful Liar by MONSTA X. And this one was done by Ryan June, Mark Sibley, and Nathan Cunningham, Kim Eung-ju, Brother Sue, Josh Kumbi, Avin, Lauren Aquilina, Hyungwon Juhoney, and I am of MONSTA X. Yes. Oh, man. So first off, shout out to Lauren Aquilina. I
Yeah.
saw her perform when she opened for Rina Sawayama.
Yeah.
And it's funny because then now knowing that she's involved, I'm like, oh, Rina Sawayama would actually kill this song. Like, imagine a feature. Come on, Rina.
Don't do that. Don't
Come
do
on,
that to
MONSTA X.
me.
Imagine.
Don't do that to me.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Let's make that happen. But anyway, this song's totally up my alley. I
Mhm.
love the rock pop thing. So
Oh,
just a very
yeah.
guitar heavy rock song is always awesome
Mhm.
for me. And I love a darker song as well.
Yes.
And there's a fun beat though, you
Yeah.
know? So then
Yeah.
it's just a great dynamic and there's a lot of tension in it as well.
Mhm.
I will say because it starts right away with, I guess, what is the chorus. Structurally, the song's a
Mhm.
little odd. But I think because I didn't know that was the chorus, like the first time I heard it, then when it came
Yeah.
up again, I was like, oh, that's the chorus. So I was a little underwhelmed by it the first time. But I think now that I know the structure,
Yeah.
I like it a lot more. So it took that first listen of like, meh, to then kind of liking it a lot more. Because like I mentioned, I think the structure of the track is very interesting. You do start with the chorus, and then there's quite a short verse before you get the chorus again. But then you don't get the chorus again until the very end, because then you have like a very extended rap verse between the two, like I Am and Honey. Then you get another rap verse after that. So yeah, just a really interesting structure. And it keeps it really interesting for sure. I will say it does end a little abruptly for me. It almost felt like it needed an extra outro just to kind of close the whole thing out.
Oh, interesting. Yeah,
Because you
that's
get
very
that chorus
K-pop-y.
again and it kind of just ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's my only complaint, but I like what's there for sure.
Yeah.
I will say vocally, it's nice, to hear older
Yeah.
groups, because you can just tell how comfortable they are and where they sit vocally, and like how open everything is, how effortless everything feels.
Yeah.
That just adds to, I think, the enjoyment of it. So yeah, I enjoy it. How about you?
You know what, man? Speaking about Lauren real quick, she actually wrote Ives 11 too.
Yes, she
We did talk
did.
about that a while back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I mentioned this in my live bands and K-pop video. That Monsta X leans towards rock now to bring some of their older tracks back to life, and this song lends itself to that comment. They are a noisy group, and what's noisier than hip hop and rock together, right? Not saying that's a pejorative thing, but it is noisy. But this song is a lot more refined than I'm like portraying it to be, for sure.
Yes.
I would say like the way the drums come in, like doo, 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 doo. Hang on, wait, no. The way the song kind of sounded, it reminded me of 5 Seconds of Summer's Young Blood, like the way it came in a little
Oh
bit.
yeah, I hear that. Yeah.
So I like that part of it. I like the half chorus for the first part of the song. I think, I'm not sure if, I mean, Highline and Starship are like basically the same thing, but one's a subsidiary of the other. But Wonho does that a lot with his tracks. Like he'll do a half chorus, and then the second time it comes around, it's a full chorus. And this song did it. And the guys don't typically do half choruses, which is nice to kind of hear it, because like you said, we got this long extended rap, and then we kind of didn't know what the structure of the song was, which I appreciate, because this group has been in the game for so long. Oh my God. Like after a while, it's like you can only do the whole, like you said, standard pop structure for so long. So for them to kind of half chorus something rap bridge, but kind of fake you out with the pre-hook going into it, it's interesting. But I won't lie, I was a little underwhelmed by the little like chorus a little bit. I was like, oh, it's a little subtle. But then it made moments like the why, oh, why, I want it more parts like, ooh, I'm getting yelled at, why? But then it drops back down again. It's kind of like sinister, which is what the song is about. And I like that. Again, I'm not trying to be biased, but Jooheon and I Am are very good in sense of like rapping in tandem. Like third gen rappers, we had like EXO, we had GOT7, we didn't have a lot of good rappers. I'm not gonna lie to you. They were like more hip hop oriented, so they'll have a lot of like hip hop sensibility, but also they'll write the song where it fits the group, and they'll get to the point of like, they're not gonna say "Shorty, I'm a party to the sundown" all randomly. They'll say, "I love EXO." Don't get me wrong, I love when Chanyeol and Sehun rap in tandem, but we're not gonna,
I agree with you. Yeah.
right? But we're not going to get a random ass phrase. Oh, sorry. We're not going to get a random phrase like that. We're going to get lyrics that are saying, I love how toxic this love is. Like, I Am blatantly said that the love was fake, but he wanted more. You know what I'm saying? Like, this whole song is about a toxic love and them being almost like ashamed, but very proud to be so passionate about this lover. It's like they're enraptured, but they want some more, like a masochist of some sort. And I like that the song embodies that. Like, it gets sinister and wild and feral, but then really passionate. It's interesting altogether. I think it's embodied in the video as well. I mean, red is the color of passion. So
yes, red leather is always a nice eye-catching look, I think.
Yeah.
This video is entertaining. I think going back to what I said about having an older, kind of just more established group, they're also very comfortable as performers.
Oh my
as
God,
well.
yeah.
Like just in front of the camera, they're all so good at just looking so comfortable in it, and really living in whatever's kind of setting that they're in. I will say the only thing I didn't like was that the fire effect looked really fake.
Okay,
like when the structure was on fire.
Can I just say, I appreciate that they actually lit the boys' faces to reflect the orange light.
Fair.
But I get what you're saying. I was just like,
I was distracted by it. I wish they didn't
really?
do that. I wish they just had like red lighting or something. I don't know. I loved the black and white moments though, like the room with the hanging chains,
Oh, yeah.
the little Kihyun kind of all over. It was a very little Sugar Babes overload moment.
I'm
But like
crying. The
when he's like
overlay?
all
Yeah.
when he's all over himself. But
Crying.
watching them perform it, it really
Mhm.
did make me think that this would be a great concert opener.
Ooh,
Imagine an
don't
extended intro with a guitar solo to
ooh,
start, and it like goes into
ooh.
anyway. That was
Don't
the
do this
first
to
thought I had. I was like, "Ooh, that'd be a good one." But yes, before I get to
Yeah.
the performances though, what do you think of the video?
The red leather is nice. And I have to say that big dome place in the beginning of the video, oh my god. That's like K-pop's favorite spot now. Like I've seen it in so many dang videos. Oh
Yeah,
my
like the
god.
abandoned dome.
That dome, yeah, that specific dome. I've seen it in Chungha's
Yeah.
play. I've seen it in some other group video. Like I've seen it a lot. No,
You know
no
what?
tea, no
Korea's
shade.
not that big.
This is very true. They're a sweet little peninsula with
Yeah.
great, powerful music, so we'll give them that. But
Oh,
y'all
yeah.
keep reusing sets, okay? But I will say that filling up that dome with a cult like love except obsessed men were like, was a good idea. I think it's a good way to kind of
Yeah.
accessorize and dress the space up instead of building a set. I mean, they did do that in a studio, but like that whole place was full of cloaked men. That is unsettling. Like it really is just interesting because the whole song is about this crazy toxic love that's bad for you. The black and white scenes kind of like lend to that idea because it adds to that obsessive attachment that someone would have in a toxic relationship. And side note, Juhan looking down on the glass, I was whoa, boy, I was like, "Step on me," but not really. Like, they were stepping on the glass, but, oh, so he looks so good. They do things like that on purpose. Whoever edits these videos, like, "Oh, he looks great there," and he did. I was like I felt like how one would feel if they were in that situation. I was like, "Wow, this is a very dangerous situation, but they look so beautiful. I want this person." And then I like the ending. I thought it was like a rock concert at the end, but if you look, the men are still cloaked. It's giving very much like TED Talk. Like, "Hey, guys,
We
listen."
love a TED Talk.
I'm trying to be nice and not call them like, the whole beta man speeches, but it has that kind of feel where the men are kinda looking at their leader saying, "If you die for this love, it's a good love." Again, it goes into that video. But yeah, I mean, we can go right into the choreography. We didn't get, like,
Yeah.
too much of it, but we didn't get, like, too little of it. Like, the parts
Mm,
that would be really awesome to see, like, I am being held by all these men or them, what's the word for it? Like, dancing together, those moments where they're dancing in tandem, or even Hyungwon's moment where he throws his head back. Oh my god, that has been
mm,
going viral in Mum Baby world, okay? I will say
yeah.
that. I've kinda checked in and out, but that leaning back at the last chorus is kinda that head tilt. Ugh, I want Shonu back so I can see him do some of this stuff
Yeah, it's
because, like
sexy. There's some a lot of
yes!
sexy moments in
Oh
here.
my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah.
Yes!
And I like the slower moments too, like in the pre-choruses and
Yeah.
stuff. I like those moments. Yeah, because the chorus it gets kind of crazy. Like
Um,
it's
dude, all
tough
the choruses,
choreo.
there are 3 different ones. I still don't like learning their choreography, but I
Oh,
also get excited because it's 3 different choreos for 3 different choruses.
mm,
It's a little bit much, but it makes their
yeah,
dances a little bit more fun because 'cause you're like, "Oh, shoot, I gotta think about the next step."
yeah. It is interesting because I think as they've gotten older as well, they use background dancers more, right?
As
It's
they
a lot,
should.
yeah, and it's kind of like less work for them, but also
Yeah,
it adds a lot of more dynamic because it's basically a budget thing as well. It's like, okay,
true,
if you're assuming you'll be able to afford dancers for all your performances now, then you
true.
can kind of do something where you involve them, and they're such a big part of it. And
Yeah.
when you do that, where a lot of the members have so much time where they're not on stage, then when they actually all are together, it does feel more
Yeah.
powerful. So I enjoyed that dynamic. There's a part in the first part of the chorus,
Mm,
the second time you hear the chorus, where they do just like a mirror thing,
yeah,
but it looks really good.
yeah.
I love a good mirror. Every dance crew does.
Mirror.
And that's when people are, doing the opposite of things.
Yes.
But yes, I love that moment. But yes, I would love to learn this, but it looks very hard.
It is hard. Oh my
Yeah.
god. I was like, "Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, god." But, yeah, like, songs like this makes me like, "Oh my god, Wonho woulda" I know he's not in the group anymore, guys, but, like, songs like this is in his pocket, like, Shonu, I miss him. I don't want him to take any of Hyungwon's part, though, because Hyungwon's been kinda stepping up as, like, the Shonu vocal, with the hip rolls and stuff, and
Yeah.
like, they're solid even with just the 5 of them, so that's really freaking saying a lot because you have, like, 2 main, like, beastly members missing, but they're holding
Yeah.
it down, so
Mhm.
I'm impressed. But yes, how would you rate this song?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is good. Like, I
Mhm,
think it's they're staying with the standard of their
mhm,
music. Do I think it's one of their best songs ever? No.
mhm, mhm.
So yeah, I'll give it an 8.5.
You know what? I agree with you. I love them so much. They send I can go okay. Yeah, 8.5. Up next is Taeyang's Vibe featuring Jimin of BTS. And the song was written by Taeyang, Vince, Kush, Jimin, 24, and Teddy Park. Oh, fun fact, I heard that this song wasn't the original song they were going to try to put Jimin on. Apparently, did you hear that too?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. I wonder what that song would have sounded like, the other one that they had in mind.
I assume it's on the album, right?
Oh, true.
Yeah.
I haven't listened. Is it out yet?
No.
Oh, okay, good. Cause
Wow, you bad Taeyang fan.
I know. Okay, here's the thing, right? He's married and has a kid.
You could still be a fan.
No. Going back to the NewJeans thing, he's my everything. He's my husband. He's my baby
Lord.
daddy. He can't have a wife before I.
Oh,
I'm joking.
gosh.
I'm joking. But no, I did kind of fall off a little bit. You know, the hiatus kind of did something to you, girl. But we'll get to that in a second, actually. But yeah, what do you think about this song? Because you have some words that I'd love to hear.
You know what? Okay, well, let's preface by saying we are both huge fans of Taeyang
Oh my
and
God,
Big Bang.
yes.
If you haven't listened to our Big Bang 101, go
Yes.
check that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still listen to Taeyang's solo stuff all the time on the regular. So I was really, really excited to hear that he was finally coming back. Because I think when he finished in military, everyone thought he would come back pretty soon after that, but he didn't. And he had a kid and everything. So yeah, great to have him back.
Right.
However, I am very underwhelmed by this song. Even the first time I heard it, I was like, oh, that's it? I don't know. It is not up to the standard at all of his old stuff. Melodically, it sounds like a Bruno Mars reject. It sounds like something that should have been on 24K Magic but didn't make it on. You know what I mean? Not so much production-wise, you know, it's not as like, it's not as like jazzy as Bruno Mars likes his stuff. Or Motowny, maybe more Motowny.
Oh, yeah, you're
it's
right.
not
Yeah,
really that. But I mean, Press Your Number by Taemin was also a Bruno Mars reject, and that was amazing. And
Not a
Taemin
reject.
really made that his own, you know? And so that was not, I don't know, it's not great. It just feels very safe.
Yes.
Like there's nothing that really stands out about it melodically, lyrically. Like it's just kind of meh.
Yeah.
Like it's catchy. Like I can sing the melody back to you, but I don't particularly enjoy singing it. I feel like obviously Taeyang's a little older, and this felt a little like all the kids are using this word vibe. So let's try and write a song about that to try and like get the younger kids to like me. It's just, I don't know. It just doesn't feel inspired at all. And then production wise, I mean, it does have some nice moments in it, actually, like the way it kind of floats around the vocals. It really is vocal heavy as well, this song.
Yeah.
And there are nice little elements that complement his various inflections in his vocals and stuff. So there are some really nice things to listen to for that. So I appreciate that. Vocally, I mean, Taeyang's never been like the best vocalist. He has kind of a very kind of basic R&B voice. It's very thin and can get a little nasally, right? So I didn't have huge expectations there, but this song doesn't do anything to show his level of skill at all. And Jimin was an interesting choice for a feature. I'm curious what you think of Jimin as a choice, because I think the two of them are kind of similar. Like they're very thin. It's a little nasally. And the issue with that is then when they sing together, it doesn't really do anything. Like this isn't Bee Gees where it's like, whoa, it's a new voice. They all sing together. Like, no, it's like the two of them singing together. It's just like, okay.
You know, like it's like Zion T and Crush actually singing together. Zion has a more thinner MJ inspired voice, and Crush has an R&B, like you can hear like the soul, like neo soul. They sound great together because they have different tones. So I get what you're saying. It's not like Bee Gees.
But no, the reason I chose Bee Gees is because they do kind of sound similar. They do kind of sound similar, but when they sing together, it's like it brings it to a whole new level.
Like a Megazord.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
No,
that wasn't the case. And they don't harmonize at all. There's no like ad-lib battle moment or anything. I don't know. That's what makes duets fun.
Ooh,
and this doesn't take advantage of it being a duet. So I was very disappointed by that. And then Jimin's voice, a lot of people talk about this, so we're not the only ones, right? I saw a lot of comments and tweets saying that Jimin sounds like he's being strangled. And and I wouldn't necessarily go that far. However, I did watch a video the other day, Jimin's vocal evolution, and he
Mm-hmm.
used to sound so good in the beginning, BTS songs, and then he
Man,
developed some very strange habits,
habit.
breathing habits, vocal inflection habits, and it got very tight. He used to be much more open with his vocal tone, and
Oh
now
my
it's
God.
very tight,
Oh my
and it
God.
just doesn't sound nice. So I'm not a fan of his new voice. And so anyway, this whole song is just very meh. That's the
Yeah.
word. That's my
Yeah.
word for it.
Yeah. I had a couple of H's in that one. You know what, man? Oh goodness. Oh God. Okay. So I'm not a BTS fan. We don't really talk about BTS on this show. So it's probably one of the only times we do. Um, honestly, as someone who used to listen to BTS, uh Jimin never really sounded like this to me, or like if he did have any kind of habits, he's like they weren't as bad. Like his vocals are so sticky now. It's gonna be the one and only ink like that whole like it's very sticky. It's very
Mhm.
like it sounds like his chords are kind of like trying to this kind of like sound that's distinctive, like Ariana Grande with her baby or yeah, like we all know what it is, right? But
Yeah.
he's chosen to do something that is I don't know what it's doing to his voice. I don't know what his body's going through, but it's just not great to hear.
Yeah.
And then when he does like falsettos, even he maintains that whole sticky sound, so it sounds even more sticky up there, and it sounds almost like he's straining when he's hit high notes before.
Mhm.
Again, I'm not gonna lie though, BTS as like a group falsetto speaking are not my favorite when they hit
No.
falsettos. I love when they're like in their chest voice. I'm like, give that to me, okay? But yeah, moving on from that, I think you're right in terms of production. Like once you get past like that 90s keyboard from like 24K era, this song also has like this updated version of the Teach Me How to Dougie drum pattern. Like doom, doom, doom,
Oh.
doom, doom, to Teach Me How to Dougie. It's the same, not the same, but it's very similar, right?
Yeah.
I heard it and I'm like, why do I want a Dougie right now? Like I think what kind of triggered me was that I saw Taeyang. Taeyang's like Omarion to me. Sometimes he throws in like these really old school kind of moves. And I saw him do a little cat daddy kind of thing. And I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. There's a song from like 12 years ago that this sounds like. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean that the production is bad. This is not us like being like, oh my God, the black label can't produce. They can. They can. In
Mhm.
fact, it bothers me that the production isn't bad. It sounds crisp. It's just uninspired. And like again, as a huge Taeyang fan, like I love me some soul. Okay, this is not his typical quality, especially with White Knight being his freaking last release. Like, how do you
Mm.
go from Darling
Mhm.
to this? I
Mhm.
get it. The album's quality. Even all the other albums prior to that were quality. Ring-a-Linga, with all of its noise, was better than this.
Mhm.
I just don't feel like this is his caliber. And I feel like lyrically speaking, it's so funny. Like I'm adding notes now after that like long rant that you just gave. It's just we could find things, two different things to dislike about it, and complain about. That's what's so funny about this. My thing, like lyrically speaking, just to go into the lyrics now, the song is about being a complimentary love. Like, the night sky and the stars, a song with a top line. I thought that was cute, but I feel like the song could have been called Ride or something because the chorus goes like, we have a vibe until the sun rises. I would have been like, I like it when we ride, baby. Dun-dun-dun, to the sunrise. I like it when you ride, baby. I feel like
Oh.
that would have been better and a little more like, ooh, a little tongue in cheek. Because we got that vibe until the sun rises. Are you trying to assume that no, when beautiful things come together, they make magic. There's nothing vibey about magic. I mean, like, vibe is not sexy. It's just a word people use when they don't have a proper descriptor.
Yeah. Yeah.
A&Rs, give me a song, give me a hit. What the hell is a hit? Like, like I want something that's vibey.
Mhm.
Would you like to use some metadata words that, SEO could pick up on? Like, that's what this song is giving.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the video was actually kind of decent enough to kind of like, it's kind of like, raise the song out of the dregs that were like burying it in. What did you think about the video?
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the simplicity of it, right? Here's
Yeah.
just this huge warehouse with a giant stage in it,
Yeah.
and you and Jimin just have to fill it. Like, you are big enough stars that you should be able to fill this huge space and keep it fun, right?
Right.
So I appreciate that, and I think for the most part, they do handle it well. I think some of the lighting is amazing in here. The
Yeah.
lighting design is really, really cool,
Yeah.
and I think some of the sets are cool as well. I love that thing, like the staircase that leads into the thing,
Oh,
like
yeah.
on the top. I thought all of that was
Yeah.
very, very cool. It looked very big and
Yes.
grand. So yeah, I appreciate the video for what it is, but I doesn't necessarily have a lot of replay value. It's kind of like, okay, yeah, like you guys are killing it, but
Yeah.
like the song's just okay. So it's like I don't really need to watch this video again. And again, going back to what I said about like them not taking advantage of it being a duet, their
Mhm.
chemistry like is just like okay as well. You know, like
Yeah.
they have the little moment where like his Taeyang's arm is around him and they're like, bopping or whatever. But like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's fine. I don't know. Like a little dance battle or something. I don't know. Like I feel like they could have
Hang on.
really fully taken advantage of the two of them.
I got you. Chris
Yeah.
Brown and Usher. You gonna be my baby? Listen, 2 different generations. One is a little bit more seasoned vocally. One has a thinner voice but can kind of do the same runs. One dances a lot more like athletically. The other one's just in a pocket. Like they're both very good. They kind of had a dance battle, but they were together. Like it felt good
Yeah.
to see them together. I did not feel that with them at all.
Yeah.
There's so many other artists that Taeyang could have collabed. Again, going back to Crush, if you want to have that R&B vibe, Crush would have sounded great on this. There's so many other people he could have had. He could have had a rapper even. There's so many new rappers, and you have the reputation to get anyone you want. Like YG is the premier hot hip-hop group. Like they are the bad boy of Korea, and you don't think to get, not saying you have to get a rapper, but again, that's why some people feel like, is this like a publicity thing? Like, why did you grab?
Oh,
You know
clearly.
what I'm saying? It
Definitely.
doesn't feel natural. Like you may like him. Like, oh, he's cute, he's fun. But you know he's not singing like you. You know he's not doing what you're doing. Like Hybe and YG kind of maybe started out the same way, inspired by like old school hip hop, but Hybe is on some like lyrical hip hop stuff,
Mm.
and YG's always been party boy hip hop, maybe acoustic with the,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like it just it doesn't make sense, and
Yeah,
like
just it feels uninspired. It does feel like, oh, if you get a BTS member on this song, it'll do really well. So let's do that. Here's the thing. I'm just hoping that the album is good,
Oh
and
my God,
this is just like not a great
like a pre-release.
first look. Yeah. But the choreography though, what do you think of the choreography?
Oh, it was cute. I mean, the whole vibe, that part was cute, and the little hands, tiki-taki. I thought it was cool, whatever. I'm not gonna lie to you. I watched the video like twice, and I remember, and I just didn't want to like put myself through it anymore. I love Taeyang. Young
Yeah.
Bae, I love you.
They
but
did record a little dance video of the
it was
chorus.
cute,
Yeah, I mean, this choreo is hard. I mean, Taeyang's a great, great dancer.
Yeah.
And this is very him. Like,
Yes.
there's
Yeah.
that kind of MJS kind of influence there. The
Mhm.
weight shifts and the footwork are kind of crazy. And then like,
Yes.
there's a lot of like, there was one moment where he's like tutting with his right hand and then doing circles with his left hand. And
Oh
his, like,
yeah, yeah,
left
yeah,
leg is
yeah, yeah,
left leg is
yeah.
coming in, and I was like,
Yeah.
whoa! Like that's a
Yeah.
very much like tap your head while
Yeah,
you're
rubber
like
tummy.
rubbing your stomach. And I'm not even doing it right now. Yeah, like it's tough. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's up there with his very crazy choreo at times.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's impressive, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think someone who's not a dancer wouldn't be able to appreciate actually all of the intricacies of that. So it was kind of again more complicated than it needed to be, but okay. They did
Cry.
do like a live band version that they put
Yeah.
up. Of course, the vocals are processed to hell.
Yeah.
But it did make it a little jazzier, and there were some fun live band dynamics in it. And I
How's the
actually liked.
chemistry? Like
I mean, the chemistry was okay, but
exactly.
like the lighter production though with the
Yes.
live band, I actually preferred that. This kind of like not really coffee house, not really jazz club, but just
That's
something
cry.
just like a little lighter,
Yeah, not
a
so
little more
yeah, Dougie.
AC.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
AC radio.
yeah,
Yeah, not so teach
yeah.
me how to Dougie. Got it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so I actually appreciated that. But yeah, again though, Jimin like oh god, his vocal choices of just I can't.
Oh.
I can't.
Oh, not you coming back around before
I
ranking.
had
Say
to because he
something.
sings it live the exact same way. Anyway, okay. Here's the thing. I don't think it's a terrible song. I just think it's a boring song. So it's not a terrible rating, right? It's just meh. But I'll give it a 7. How about you?
Shoot, honestly, if I was a purist, a Big Bang purist, a Taeyang purist,
Yeah.
it'd get lower than a 7. But I'm gonna be
Mm.
nice because the song is not bad. It's just, babe, I've seen you live. Almost shed a couple tears.
Yeah.
Not because I was excited to see him, because it was so good and the band was so good. This ain't you. I'm gonna give it a 7.
Up next, we have Twice with Moonlight Sunrise, which is their pre-release English track for their comeback next month. So we will feature them again if you vote for Twice, because they actually barely made it into this episode. So Get on it, Twice fans. What are they called again?
Once.
Get on it. Vote for them next time. Follow us on socials at CCTV Pops. Okay, so this song was done by Ear Attack, Nina and Nelson, Katie Daly, and Lee Woo Hyun. So what do you think?
Okay. This song is definitely Twicey, all right? I'm a fan. I liked it. I think because Ear Attack worked on it, the song feels like Twice. The song has that retro feel that they're pretty much known for. I mean, like this whole JYP's whole thing is retro, right? But I mean, like you think like TT, how it sounds kind of retro-y, or even I thought we were going to get like a Feel Special because of how it came in, like a part 2, because of how it came in. Like the intro was giving Twinkle, but kind of retro still. Like Feel Special was the same way. But no, I will say the girls. I will say that I'm glad that the girls haven't really sold out in terms of making like US digestible songs. Like not so badly where they're like sacrificing their sound like ITZY, MONSTA X, and BTS did. Like
Very
I'm a
true.
fan of I'm a fan of like two to three of these artists. Like a huge fan, I mean. And I am a fan. But I can admit that the English tracks of like MONSTA X specifically does not give it the Korean tracks give. Like, not
no.
you know what I'm saying? But with Twice, they've actually been like pretty consistent. So I appreciate that. That aside, I have to say this sounds like a K-pop version of Sweetest Pie. Now, this is not something that is brand new to people, like especially in that rap section. It sounds like Meg's flow, and it's a bit bothersome to me. But this kind of goes back to what I said in the past episodes about like K-pop not being, not always reinventing the wheel at times, especially with like K-pop trends with like the 80s thing. Like I got sick of the 80s thing, like for sure. Got so sick of it. Like you're not reinventing the wheel, you're not making it sound different. This is one of those examples. But it's not Twice's fault as a group. I think it's one of those things where it's like you've got American writers who probably didn't think about fans picking up on it, even though it's a freaking English song. I will never get that. You have a song that's a derivative of another, and it's in English, and you didn't think that maybe, I don't like that. But again, the song is still something I'm happy to hear the girls sing, about boinking, all right? Because they have songs like that as their B-sides. They have songs like this as their B-sides that are a little bit more cooler or like a little bit more cheeky cute. But this one's like very blatantly like, hey, come on now, come here. Like, I'm sorry if I sound like I'm asking for too much, but come through. Do the Moonlight.
Yeah, I appreciated that too. They're literally begging for it, essentially, which is interesting.
Yeah, that's fine.
I will have to say, I have to shout out that little viral moment for Junghyun's line. It's I need you o'clock right now. Sounds like something else.
Oh, it does.
Which we love. Very funny.
Nasty.
So I love that.
Oh, yeah.
Very funny. Okay, so I agree. I think this song, it sounds very Twicey. Like if you're a once, you will like this song. Like it's safe in that way.
Yes.
But it's not a complete derivative, right? So it does bring something different, right, to their catalog, which is good. And that's production definitely. I've seen mashups of Sweetest Pie and this song. Like a lot of people have unfortunately picked up on that, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, true.
So yes, it's very on trend.
Yes.
Which, the A&Rs and all the music industry people love. Melodically, though, it is fun to sing. Moonlight, sunrise. Yeah, very fun. And it's grown on me a lot. I will say some of the cadence is a little odd. And I don't know if that's just because a lot of them are not native English speakers or if it was just written that way. But especially in the bridge, there's like a weird cadence to like how the words come in together.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know. It kind of throws me off sometimes. So yeah, I didn't love some of that.
Yeah.
Vocally though, and we've talked about this with Twice before, I'm not a huge fan of Twice vocally.
Yeah, I know.
And a lot of it also is not their fault. It's actually the JYP style, right?
Yes.
Where it's very loud and forced and there's no vibrato and it's all like a little whiny at times.
Yeah.
And so this song has a lot of that, like especially at the very end. Where you get the really nasally high ad-libs with a really nasally forced chorus vocal. It's just like a lot. And so I do wish in this case, and we mentioned it with an earlier song too, that the chorus was sung in unison because it would sound so much I don't know what the right word is. It would just give it so much more like
depth. Fullness.
Depth. Yes, those are great words. Like moonlight, sunrise, all of them singing that together.
Yes.
As opposed to like moonlight, sun. Like it's just like like a girl, like you don't need to force it as much. I don't know. Like I'm just not a huge fan of that.
Oh my god.
I
You're
know
not
that
wrong. You're not
yeah.
wrong. Because our polls on our the poll on our Instagram at
Yeah.
CCTV Pops, look, people have spoken. Even people who weren't really following us kind of participated, and the consensus were like the songs are too high, yeah, but also can they actually sing? So it's kind of leaning in the negative, you know, and it's such a shame because they can sing, but just lower in their chest. And also
Yeah.
we did do a Pop 101 where we talk about like a lot of their discography, so definitely check that out.
Mhm.
And also check out our girl groups in JYP Nation. That is a very fun video. We got
Oh yeah.
drugged through the mud, but not really because we're grown and we're not children.
Yes. I will say though, before people start and try and point this out, the verse melodies, the verse like vocals
Yeah.
are a little more open, a little breathier. There are some really nice
Yeah.
moments in the verses, but
Yeah.
in just overall, the really forced, like, no, I don't know. I just don't love the overall vocal styling.
Yeah, no, it's tough because even
But
Nayeon was
yeah.
trying to sing it like on I think like a one of those like live stream, not V Live, and she was like kind of having a hard time,
Yeah.
you know. But you know, it's tough. Mm.
Yeah. Well, they haven't performed it yet, but we do have a music video. So what did you think of the visual?
You know, there's a lot of fun twice personality moments in this video. Like I mean, with the whole them talking about schmexatam and boinking, it's
Mm.
interesting to see that you can still make it their personalities and kind of funny. Like they've always been like that. Like I laugh at Mina in the car because she's in the car and then a key gets thrown out the window, and I'm like, what does that mean? Like I just things like that were kind of funny, or like
Yeah.
maybe like a cake stabbing. That was weird. Like I thought it was
Yep.
funny. Like I thought it was funny.
Mm.
Or Taeyang in the phone booth? Yeah, the phone booth with the I guarantee I gotcha. Like who does that? That is so unsexy, but it's very much like, hey babe, it's cute. It's like my personal style. I think that's why I also like it, but it's also not them pretending to be like these sex kittens, like these smitten sex kittens. Like that's not them.
Yes.
They can sell it with their dancing, which is why Momo's in the center, or maybe Gio's kind of like giving you face.
Oh
But
yeah,
it's
Jiho
never.
can sell it. During that bridge, she's
Oh
selling
my
it for
god,
sure.
yeah. Oh my god, yes. But like
Yeah.
they had certain scenes for certain people, and it made sense. Even the styling, like Momo walking in the beginning, I was like, honey. She's gorgeous in person. Like, we both seen that. She's a
Mm.
hottie in person. So to kinda have that walk towards you, like, where's the song going? The video is this fun little just getting to my whole little tin hat moment. The video is actually, like, this fun little, like, cookie time quest. Like, we have butterflies that were mentioned in the lyrics, and it's like it's guiding twice to keys that will open that big old heart lock that they're dancing in front of. And, like, it reminds me of Zelda following Navi in the games. And I mean,
Mm.
Link following,
Yeah.
Navi. It's just like, "Oh, where is it going? Get this key. Get this key." And then Nyan opens the door, and it's just like when you get inside, it's quite nice. You can see that each member is kind of involved, and each one like, there's words on the door that, like, tells you what key works, right? And each of the members found a key. So when you get inside, there's flowers that bloom and they're dancing in front of it. The lights go out. That's Jiho's part. And then we get to play the sheets as randomly depicted by Momo. The guarantee I gotcha in the curtain. Like, well, I was like, why is she in the curtain? But it's meant to be kind of like kind of sexy, right? So I was like, okay, there we go. They make sense now.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, I think this is a fun little pre-release. So we'll see if the butterfly means anything because like they are known for kind of having some little Easter eggs in their videos. Like they're not exempt from the
Yeah.
K-pop lore stuff, right? So
Yeah.
we'll see if the Nabi comes back.
Yeah. I mean, of course, taking into account this is a pre-release track, we wouldn't
Yeah.
judge it right in the same caliber as their title
Ooh,
tracks.
interesting, yeah.
Well, at least I wouldn't.
Mm.
So yeah, the video is nice. It's pretty much what I expected after hearing the song. I was like, you know, they're gonna be in various bedrooms and there's gonna be a lot of moon
Yeah.
motifs and moon visuals.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was basically what I expected. They all look amazing, as you
Mhm.
mentioned. I do like the little personality moments the most. That is what keeps it interesting for
Yeah.
sure. Like Dahyun stabbing the cake on fire was definitely the most
What?
random moment, and I
Yeah.
loved that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I look forward to a performance. I think the choreo that we can see in the video is nice. Like I like
Oh,
the little
yeah.
like circle making
Mhm.
moment.
Yeah.
It's all very pretty. It's sassy. And they all look good doing it.
Mhm.
Very them.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's more of them just kind of doing what they're good at.
Good at,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Mhm. This is that thing what you said about MONSTA X. When you're seasoned, it's like, whatever.
yeah,
I mean, they're only 3rd gen, so they're not, like, really phased out time. It's not time for that, but and they
Yeah.
all renewed, so we got some more time with the girls.
They did, surprisingly, honestly. But
Yeah, boy.
yeah, and congrats to them. They're
Yeah.
getting that Billboard Women in Music Award as well. So yeah.
As they should. That's
But yeah,
right.
make sure to vote for Twice
Yeah.
to be in our next episode if you want us to talk about the title track. But for now, I will rate Moonlight Sunrise an 8. How about you?
I'll match your score. I like it, but I think I like Feels a little bit more.
Ooh, me too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Up next is TXT with Sugar Rush Ride. Written by Slow Rabbit, Sophia K, Supreme Boy, Cassiopeia, Hitman Bang, Salem Elise, Krista Youngs, Olipop, and Maya Marie. All right. So, Chris, are you not a fan of this group?
Oh, I am
Fun,
a
right?
MOA. Yes. But before I even get into that, Maya Marie, first off, is a very interesting inclusion in this. She is known as Britney's
I'm crying.
quote unquote backing vocalist. And she's written some of Britney's songs and stuff as well, and some other artists. So anyway, there is a Britney callback in this song, which we'll get to. But it's very interesting to see her name. I think this might be one of the first K-pop credits she has. So
I'm
very
in
cool.
tears.
Yeah, so like I said, I am a MOA, but I was not a fan of Good Boy Gone Bad, which was their only comeback last year. So I'm kind of glad that their kind of emo phase is over, because I loved like Love Song and all those, but Good Boy Gone Bad was a little much for me. So yeah, very happy to kind of start a new era for them. And yeah, this is a cool song. I think it's interesting because they are now in their early 20s, so they're kind of out of their angsty teen phase, and we're now getting to the oh wait, I'm hot phase,
I'm in
I
tears.
guess. So like yeah, this song is interesting lyrically. Again, in line with the last song, this is clearly about some sexy time that they're very happy about
Get some cookies.
being a part of. And yeah, I think as a song though, it's cool because it starts off, the verses and stuff are very sweet and kind of funky with the guitar. But there is this kind of like layer of mystery to it that keeps it kind of intriguing, right? When the anti-drop hit the first time I heard it, I was kind of like, really? I was like, come on, like you guys are doing that? Especially when it didn't lead to anything after the first time.
Yeah. Okay.
I was like, really? But after hearing the whole song and kind of where it eventually leads to, I was like, okay, I get it. It makes sense. Fine. I'll take it. Like, this is enough. This is satisfying enough.
Fine.
Going back to the Britney reference, they do say, gimme more, right?
Yeah.
Which is almost the same as gimme more.
Yeah.
Which at this point I was like, oh my God, you might as well just have sampled it.
I mean, Carrie Hilson would love the royalty, okay? I mean, but
because if they actually sampled it, this would get so much more attention. Like, all the Britney fans would be like, oh,
Yeah.
So I think they should have done that. And then the sugar rush, that thing. I almost wished for the first anti-drop section. I wish they saved that for the last moment. I wish they kept the whole first anti-drop kind of slow, or at least mysterious, like whispered, or like, or slowed down, or something. I don't know. I think the whole build could have been even more intense just without that inclusion that first time.
Look at you, vocal producer.
So that's me. Yeah, that's me A&Ring a little bit. But yes, this has grown on me. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite TXT songs, but I like it more than Good Boy Gone Bad. So yeah, what do you think?
Okay, well, I'm not a fan of this group, and this is not like a pejorative thing. If I'm not a fan, that means I just don't listen to their music, right? Like I typically relegate a lot of my contact with their music via our reviews.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? We listen to so much music at this point.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the air,
Totally.
right?
Yeah.
But every time I listen to this group, I find something either I like or I'm like, ugh. Good Boy Gone Bad was one of those songs where I was like, Chris, this is not gonna turn me into anything. This ain't it.
Yeah.
And then they had was it Puma or some? Either way, that
was a long time ago, Puma.
I get it, but that was kind of like my in and out with them. And every time I came in, it was like some weird stuff, and I was like, come on. But you've been trying to get me around, I will say, every time I listen to them, I'm getting like these vibes of like their A&R team is really smart because their music sounds like contemporary pop, like what a lot of people are listening to. I think of like a K-pop version of like a Billie Eilish, like what she was doing on her When We All Go to Sleep, Where Do We Go?
Yeah.
Or other alternative pop acts like Upsahl or even Cloudy June, like that whole like playing with the devil, Paradise Lost kind of concept, but then keeping it kind of bright. and adding some like rock or some funk into it, like it totally fits within the soundscape of what's coming out here. Which is not a bad thing, okay? The Salt playlist on Spotify is popping and full of songs just like this. I like the twist to the retro sound that they have with this song. Like I said about the Twice song, sometimes reinventing the wheel is not easy to do, or even cover it in some other kind of material is difficult, especially if you don't know what your sound is, or if you don't have control over your sound. But this is very like focused on the guys and who they are as a group and their vocals. And it just doesn't sound like just any group could have done it, which is nice. I appreciate the whispering parts. I will say when I was listening to the song, I was like, okay, all right. And then I heard the whispering and I was like, oh goodness, I felt like I was.
So you liked the anti-drop from the first time you heard it?
Yeah, I did, because it did exactly what it was supposed to do. Because there's like the tension builds in this way in the production. You can hear it building, and you get the tagline that I heard the devil say, and it's a whisper. If it got any louder after that, it would be like, where is it going? So I think in that sense, it kind of like take away from it kind of adds to that tension, almost to like, I don't want to use the word, but it's like when you're on the edge of something, but you don't quite fall off. That's what it gives. And you kind of get pulled back a little bit slowly, and it's more enticing that way. You don't get that big crescendo or that big climax of the song until like the very end. I'm trying to be like, we're grown.
Totally.
We're grown.
But and they're getting grown.
Exactly. So the song is kind of edging you in a sense before it gives you the big like bang thing at the end. Like I'm trying to use the verb as cleanly as possible. But I think Carrie Hilson should I'm crying. But Carrie Hilson should definitely seek royalties for that gimme more part. It's crazy how you change a couple notes of a song and suddenly it's like amazing. But again, they play that whole Paradise Lost thing really well, and it's definitely depicted in the video. Which I can go on and on about, honey. Okay, but I'll let you kick us off.
I really enjoyed the video. I love the stranded on an abandoned island thing. Just in general, I tend to like that.
Yes,
so
Gilligan.
This was great.
Yes,
I love
Gilligan.
Survivor as well. You know,
this is
all
true.
makes sense.
Yeah.
But and the way they use the lighting was really well done. Like they're in the daytime, then it's like dawn, then it's like nighttime. I don't know. I thought the whole thing was really cool.
Yes.
And kind of going back to kind of what this song is about and everything. I thought it was interesting because obviously for the anti-drop, it gets darker. You see more of the glitter on the skin. Like it gets a little kind of just like, I don't know. I don't want to use the word sexy, but you know.
It gets sensual.
Kind of,
it gets sensual.
Yeah, sensual. Yeah, sensual is a good word.
Yeah.
And it almost made me think of like they like discovered shrooms or something on the island, and then this is like that they're like hallucinating during those moments as well. Doesn't have to be shrooms, can be something else that helps in you know, that people use when they're doing things. But that's just kind of what it gave me. But visually, the way they did the differences between the anti-drop moments and the sweeter, funkier moments, I think was really, really well done. And I think it's interesting. We were talking about the teaser pictures and stuff earlier as well. And they look, I don't know what the right word is, not fairy-like. But like they're like glittery and like the makeup is really heavy. So it's just an interesting look.
You know what? My little tin hat self was, because see the thing is with my project, it's very much inspired by like this color, the iridescent white. So the body glitters and looking kind of shimmery and prismatic is like the vibe. So I was like, oh my God, first of all, y'all beat me to it. You know, but also it depicts your skin kind of being moist in a way. This.
Oh, I was thinking more like Edward from
Twilight. Yeah, that too. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, perfect. Yeah, totally. You have that you're dazzling. You have that shimmer, shimmering or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I look at the video, even with the blush. There's the flush look that you get. Not me because I'm black, but you get flushed or like or that glow that you get. There's a lot of imagery that allude to liquids. Even like there was this pink goo at one point, and I was like,
"Oh, I know." I thought,
make it make sense.
We know what that's alluding to.
I know. It's again. I have to give K-pop mad love because they like to use islands and wonderlands to depict cookie activity. They love to use that.
Do they?
Oh my God, yeah. Like
I've never thought about it.
if you look at certain videos, it's always like some plants and blooming, like a flower that's
Oh
blossomed.
yeah, we love the flower. I
You
mean,
know?
even in Twice's video, right? So many flowers.
Right, and it's just like, are you trying to tell me something? You know, it's really interesting. But yeah, this video made me feel the way Ga-in from Brown Eyed Girls. When she first released Bloom, I was like in an elementary school almost. The way she depicted doing something for the first time in her life and being so excited about it. There was a scene where she was actually in the kitchen, you know, alluding to ecstasy. That's how I felt about with this video. I looked at it and Yeonjun did something and the breathing and stuff, and I was like, oh, should I be looking at this? And I thought, oh, it's a little bit, where do I put my eyes? So at first I was like, ugh, and it's a little weird. I'm telling you, it's so weird because I have a student. I promise you, I'm not lying. I have a student, a young 13-year-old girl who loves this group. She's like, oh, Tubak, come back, right? Not only does she love this group, but she actually goes to the church that Yeonjun, I think a family member goes. They have a picture together. So I have like this weird thing where I'm like, I look at Yeonjun and I see like this young boy who's nice to the girl at the church, my student. So when I see him like super like, she showed me the picture and everything. I'm like, you're lying. She was like, oh, look, flashed it. I was like, holy crap. So I look at this young boy like at church, sitting there going, and I'm like, how old are you? Not for me, but like, it's just very intimate.
Yeah.
It's very intimate. It's a little, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. I appreciate it. Hopefully they're all comfortable with it as well. Yeah.
I think they are. Have you seen the performances with the tongues out and
Yeah.
stuff? They comfortable.
Okay, so the performances are great. I love this choreo.
Yeah,
If I
it's
had
nice.
time, I would totally learn it. If you have time, you guys should go to ILD and learn it.
Oh, totally, yeah.
Okay, but yeah, all the guys, can I just say, have
Yeah.
great choreography.
I'm crying.
They really know how to make it
Not
move
the hair.
perfectly because there's a lot of like hair flips and like
yeah.
swinging up and like stuff in this choreo, and they always do great choreography. So yeah,
I'm
whoever
crying.
is working on that did a great job.
Yeah.
But yeah, some really, really great moments in here. Of course, the Yeonjun lying down on all their legs
Oh, that's
and
cool.
then like doing his pushing his butt up basically so that Subin can go under him.
Yeah.
Love that whole moment. I always look forward to that. It just looks really, really cool.
Mhm.
And then with Taehyun getting dragged in the bridge and stuff, just some really interesting pictures, really interesting visuals in there.
Yeah.
And yeah, the choreo just looks fun. And yeah, again, it's very sensual though. Especially with like the breaths and like
oh my
the
God. Yeah, I love that
body
part, though.
rolls
Oh
and
my
then
God.
things. So yeah, it really, really musically great. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I know I made that comment about Yeonjun being a church boy, but he sells it so well. I always ask
Oh
you,
yeah.
who's the one with the cat lips? I always ask you that. I'm always like, who's that one? Because he just stands out to me.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, this comeback was almost good enough to have me bothering to learn everybody else's names. But no, aside from that though, I do appreciate the kind of cheekiness with this dance and the whole song. I mean, like I said, the whole Wonderland, like instead of a caterpillar, there's a devil luring you into paradise. And the song plays with that. I mean, the whole whispering and then the gimme gimme more and the iri wasodo, that part, they're juxtaposed. Excuse me, sorry. Like there's a dichotomy between like the okay kind of fingers, like the gimme gimme more, and then the iri wasodo, like you know, you're bringing that fruit to you, but like willingly. I love that part. It's so simple because at first I'm like, why are you doing this cute little finger thing? But then you see that switch of like, oh
Mm.
yeah, I'm the one eating the fruit. It's like, oh my God, it's a little scandalous.
Oh,
I
you know,
appreciate that.
I was thinking of like sword fighting.
I'm in tears. Yeah. That being said, I would like to stick this song with a solid. I don't really know their discography though, so this is gonna be kind of one of those tough ones where I only know a lot of their singles, and for
Yeah.
me, this is better than a lot of the stuff I've heard. So I'll give it a 9 because I'm not familiar, but what I have heard single wise, this kind of smacks it too. Does well.
Yeah. Okay, I will give it an 8.5. Yeah, not up there with all my favorite stuff from them. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna actually review Got the Beat and NCT 127, but this is actually exclusive for Patreon.
Yes.
So if you want to hear our thoughts on those songs, come join us over there. But otherwise,
Oh, that's it.
cut. All right, so what do you all think of these songs from January 2023? Let us know which upcoming K-pop releases you'd like to see featured next month. We will be doing those polls, so follow us at CCTV Pops on all social media. You can also join our crew on Patreon to hang out with us, and you get priority. So if there's a song
Yeah.
you really want us to review, we will definitely do it. So yes, Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for our YouTube channel. And if you're enjoying the show on a podcast platform, please give us a follow, rating, and review. Until next time, that's Shan.
That's Chris.
And we're signing off from CCTV, the nonstop pop show.